those teachers also teach all the grade school, so this is just high school numbers on those.
Yeah.
That's what blanks on there, yeah.
Yeah, like up there on vocal, the divider out here on the average class size is 3, because there's only 3 high school sections, 3 high school, junior high sections. And art is only 5, 5 high school sections.
And so, the 2 open spaces, then she alters all the grade school classes, they
Plan,
okay.
plan and elementary and
Okay.
If there's no other questions about this, the thing I would finish up with, first of all, I guess, are there questions? Comments? When I showed you the list of possible reductions, gave you a scenario, showed you what it would be if there were 3 FTE of certified staff that we reduced. Our ideal situation is if we're able to do that when we have, like I said, retirements, resignations. If this is quite a collection of ifs, but if the revenue estimating committee came in and said we have a lot less revenue than what you're expecting, and so the $33 that the governor proposed isn't going to be enough, we have to cut more. And as Merlin pointed out, if the 150 was 200 or 225, at some point, if we have to make some of those significant cuts, and we don't have people who are in line to retire or resign, one of the things that districts can do, and there are a number of districts out there right now that have already started this process, is that it's called reduction in force. You say low person on the pole is going to get bumped in favor of someone else who's been in the district longer. That looks different at the elementary and high school. At elementary, you basically have, for the most part, everybody certified elementary can teach any of those grades. That doesn't mean they would want to. At the high school, in order to bump somebody, you'd have to be certified if that particular place or position is reduced. Those are not pleasant tasks for anybody to do, and so I would call that a last-ditch effort if we had to do that. Would rather just when we get those retirements or resignations, take advantage of those and restructure them. So, and there are some things in this schedule that we can do if we have some of those things occur. So we'll do the ones that we can as we can. One kind of related to that, it is also possible to make positions that are full-time, half-time, or part-time positions based upon enrollment. That is also a difficult thing to do, not pleasant, but it is another option. So,
does block scheduling, can you keep more, do you lose more?
it makes it worse. Okay. It's more expensive to do block scheduling. There's actually 2 districts in the state right now that are going the other way. have block scheduling, they're going back to traditional. Mays is one of those districts, and they're going from block schedule to traditional, back to the traditional 7-period schedule, and they're estimating, of course they're a bigger district, but they're estimating they're going to save about $600,000 because it will reduce, I think they said 16 staff. That's how many more staff it takes for them to do block schedule. That's their superintendent was sharing that. I didn't even realize that recently. So. Full of joyous news tonight for everybody, so sorry about that, but we are in difficult times, so if there's no other comments on that, I'm going to throw up, excuse me. Place up on the screen. The calendar committee has met once in light of discussions the board has been having about scheduling or extended day and things like that. This is an example only. It incorporates some of the things that were shared from teachers through that group to me. There's a couple things that aren't in here, and I'll talk about what that might look like if we do it. But this, let me adjust this a little bit here. This calendar, because Memorial Day falls on the 31st, which is basically a week later than it normally does, or what it has recently, adjusted this calendar so that it started a week later. So staff would report back the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Those would be professional development days if we had those. Start with the kids on the 24th. Trying to think of some of the other changes that were in here. One change this doesn't reflect that was discussed was having the whole week of the 21st off in December. This only has 3 days off instead of all 5. In order to accomplish that, you simply move that start date back 2 days, and that could be accomplished. This has returning back from Christmas break on the 4th of January. One of the things this does not have in it, it does not have a parent-teacher conference in the spring. Actually, it's kind of the winter. We only have one, it's basically like the equivalent of a half day. I think between having gone to the online progress reports and also just the fact that teachers do a good job sending out progress reports, we tend, and teachers, you can let us know if this is true or not, we seem to have really low turnout for that one that we do in the winter time. Is that accurate? I mean, if it's not, say so, but especially at the junior high and high school level, I think. So it was suggested that we pull that out, so this doesn't reflect that either. And this is something, as we talk about, you know, what would it look like if we started after Labor Day and things like that. this calendar, if we start after Labor Day, that would be 2 weeks later. You'd have to add about, I think it's about 12 minutes to the day, 12 to 15 minutes to the day to do that. But once again, you're losing contact time, contact days with kids. And you're only going to add 2 minutes per class, which is not, would be considered valuable education time, I don't know. One of the things that any of these different ideas or calendar variations creates is normally you think of quarters as being 9 weeks, and we would probably have to stop calling them 9 weeks. We'd have to call them quarters, I guess, because in this particular version, the first grading period is only 37 days instead of 45. The second grading period is 42 days. So that would change a little bit if we went for the whole week off before Christmas or during Christmas week. They would shift 2 days, so you'd have first grading period would be 39 and the second would be 40. So. Questions, observations from the board or from anyone? Public, teachers? As I said, we've only met once because we thought we couldn't get too far without knowing for sure where we're going to go. So. This basically would be kind of a status quo calendar, but it does allow, by shifting, still getting out before Memorial Day, it allows us to start a little bit later. We would have a little bit of savings from not opening the building up quite so early, by a little bit. But otherwise, this looks pretty much like the traditional calendar. So.
Do you have a projection on what that 2 weeks would save in money?
No, I don't.
10 minutes added on to the day didn't seem like much.
It's not. I mean, you really have to look at it more as the impact on losing, 10 contact days, because 10 minutes onto the day, you have a much better shot at doing something fairly beneficial at the elementary level. At the high school level, 2 minutes, they're going to be hard pressed to cover a lot of new material in 2 minutes. Yes, talented people, but 2 minutes is kind of a stretch. So, does the board have interest in seeing kind of a prototype that starts after Labor Day? Want to know times, or what's your? There's still some, like I said, some little things that we'll meet with the calendar committee and fine tune out of this. If you don't have further input on it, and one of those would be the week off at Christmas.
From what I'm hearing, I don't think anyone's interested in that September starting unless something you really have to do to
The only thing would
save
be,
money, and from what I'm hearing, the 4-day school day is better than starting later anyway.
if they're not wanting as many professional development days in there, they can work on that and do something.
Yeah, and we can do some adjustments with that as well.
They know what they need or want, or when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's something that we did talk about a little bit, but we didn't get down to
Is there what,
discussing that issue.
4 before Christmas and 4 after? Is that about
There's a
right?
total of about 5. There's a couple of them that are like half
Is it?
days,
Yeah.
so. Okay, I'll take this back to the committee and we'll kind of fine tune it, bring it back to the board next. Okay, district financial report. Go ahead, please. Okay, this is our monthly look at where we're at. I'm sorry.
Before we have a mass exit, I would like to thank you all for coming. It is very nice to see you be interested and coming and giving us your opinion. We value your opinion very much. It's taken and weighted very heavily. And usually, you know, we get one person to do the short straw, and that's all we see of you is one night. So the rest of you that show up tonight, you didn't have to be here. We greatly appreciate you coming, and feel free to come back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the opportunity to talk, yes,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you.
Basically, we only have one item that is out of budget line, that's on the custodial maintenance. We had a couple of things that we had to buy, some materials. So that's why that one's on budget. The rest of them are generally in line. I remind you that on utilities for electricity, that shows up an error there. Percent remaining as per that, we now take that out of our LOB, our 08 account. So, in terms of utilities, gas, we're ahead of schedule. The mild weather that we've had here, particularly of late, and just in general this year, has helped us out with that. Also on transportation, you'll see we have about 30% remaining there. So we do have, so we built in some for fuel prices that were higher, so we'll probably end the year a little bit there, but that will help offset the amount that the state is taking back in terms of $33 per kid toward getting that $25,666 amount. So, any items there that you see that you have a question about?
Moving on, board member activities and reports. Do you have anything you want to share with us? No? Okay. Administrative reports. Mr. Lewis.
You just keep track.
Divergent cotton happening.
Anybody else hot?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Warm.
I was just thinking that,
Did
you
you
know,
sit there in a
school's
leather
cutting
coat?
down,
I
I won't turn
cannot
the air
believe
conditioner
it.
on. I guess I'll wear shorts next time.
Enrollment figures are there. We're staying about the same. It's interesting on our enrollment. My sister is the school secretary at Ellsworth Elementary School, and I had an email from her today and said that over the weekend they lost 2 but gained 7. And she said it's about that same way every week with kids coming and going. We haven't had quite that much here, but we are a very mobile society anymore, and kids move around. I guess if they want to be with their parents, they have to. Just some things that we're doing. Kansas assessments, we have started that. We started our 4th grade math assessment, and we're starting on our 3rd grade reading this week. Music festival, I put the results on the back. That was for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. That was back on the 20th of February. Physical education program was just earlier tonight. Very well attended again, as usual. Miss Friesen does a really good job with that, and you can tell the kids have fun doing that.
Mr. Mosey,
Yes, sir?
the 4th grade parents were very happy.
Yes, before it began, I made reference to the fact that some parents will always get involved, but you know, the kids didn't even know, because Miss Friesen didn't want them to go home and tell their parents they were going to be involved. So the 3rd grade parents this year got to be the ones involved, and Miss Friesen said to me as the 3rd grade parents were out there doing their line dance, I bet the 4th grade parents are really happy. They know they won't have to do that. We have our KKF basketball tournament for 5th and 6th graders coming up on the 24th and 25th. This is the 5th and 6th graders really look forward to it, and I think if you ask the KKF participants, they look forward to it too, and it gives them a little idea of what it takes to put on a basketball game, as far as running the clock, scoreboard. They get a little taste of being officials, which isn't an easy job, as some of us really know that. Kindergarten Roundup is on April 1st, and as we said earlier, we have 13 students on the list. Hopefully we can get them all rounded up, and if you see any more out running around, bring them in too. That's all I have. Very cool.
I think you have, Carolyn, I might put those on, yeah, everybody should have,
Yeah.
it's kind of thick, because I put the results on there, so. You can see the, enrollment, we gained 3 students from, so we have 167 to go up to now. Music festival, and I've included a copy of the results for you for the junior high music festival. High school music festival is tomorrow at Nest City. Academic Olympics, I included results from the Academic Olympics, all of them, that Mrs. Haynes gave me. That's why it's a little thicker too. Those are all in there from how many schools over there, and the kids and how they did. You can look at those if you want. High school track, high school golf is beginning practicing. As you all know, high school girls will play Wednesday evening at 8:15. We had 4 students recognized at the Kansas Honors Program. Whether they're Jayhawk fans or not, they still went, attended, and those are the 4 students there. I put their names. Andrew had class. Andrew, he had a night class, and he decided to go to that. So the other 3 went. With Dr. Kenworthy and I, and Mrs. Haynes attended. So it's a nice deal for the kids. High school activity account. Probably got your places there. I mentioned high school golf. We've got 13 kids out, so we're looking at another person to help get the students to the course and to help with supervision. So we're looking at that because we got more than we anticipated.
You got 13?
13, yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
team.
So,
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that under personnel, but, just information that we can talk about in open session. As we look at that, we do need to get those kids there supervised somehow. It's not good for the kids to transport themselves. Our liability is huge in doing that, so. We looked at the option of what if we had first a parent, which I don't think was gonna work out, or even just having a bus driver to haul the kids out there. When you run the numbers on what it would cost, because the bus driver would get an hour of driving time and 2 hours of wait time, being out there, even if we didn't have the wait time, we were gonna run into, within a couple $100 of what it would cost us for the coach. And unless we have a bus driver who's just extremely interested in golf, I don't think they would do the kind of coaching that we'll get for that couple $100 extra. So that's why we're recommending that we go ahead and look at the system for that. It's we have to get them out there somehow, and it would be a bad situation for Clint to haul them out and then have 6 kids out there or 7 kids out there unsupervised when he goes back to get the others. That's not good either. So that's why we're proposing that. So for the small difference between what it would be to transport by bus with the driver, we would get added coaching for the kids. So I think that's a worthwhile thing to do. So, but we'll talk about the actual personnel side of how that would work in executive session. So. Do you have anything else, Mr. Marina?
no, that's it, thank you, that's it.
Did you have anything, Clint, that you wanted to add to that?
The thing about golf, too, supervision wise, you know, those kids are sometimes 3/4 of a mile apart. You know, where if there's one of us, something may happen on the way into the golf course. Where if there's 2, you know, we can kind of.
Okay?
Okay.
You have something
I've got
for us?
just a couple things. One, at your place, you have an invitation from the prom parents for the 2000 prom. There is a place on there to mark yes or no if you plan on attending. If you want to leave those here tonight.
Look, he's there.
If you can check that, we can deliver those back for you if you wish, or collect them if you want. Also, the cookies over here tonight were from Xi Zeta Eta. They put those together as part of the recognition from the library open house yesterday for our library being recognized by the Library Journal Index of Public Library Service for 2009. So that was a nice honor, and it was nice of that sorority to provide the cookies. So. As Mr. Bergen mentioned, we do have girls going to state basketball. I know Clint would have liked to still been going. The boys had a great season. I feel like a couple extra free throws there down the stretch and we'd have been there. So, but they did real well. I want to thank Clint for all of his work. He gets more out of kids than probably any coach I know of, I think. So, for the talent that he has. So, girls will be playing Wednesday at 8:15. We do have the band is going to go, and cheerleaders are going, obviously. The team will probably stay over Friday night. We're not planning on cheerleaders or band staying over as it's only an hour and a half away. But we are providing meal money for all those groups as we've done in the past. So, any questions? questions about the state tournament action? Then, as hard to believe as it is, next week is spring break. It's just going way too fast. And some of us still have jet lag from the time change on the weekend, so. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any miscellaneous items from anyone? Okay, looks like we're ready to go into executive session. Board and building principals. We already better than. Get a motion to that effect, please.
It's your turn, Kurt.
You said 10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes.
Mr. President, I move that the board go into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel matters for non-elected employees, and that the board return to the open meeting in 10 minutes in this room. The executive session is required to protect the privacy interests of identifiable individuals.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we go into executive session for 10 minutes for personnel items with the board, superintendent, and building principals. Is there any discussion? All in favor, right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion. Open session.
Mr. President, I would present resignation from Harold Nix for custodial duties effective the end of June. Would recommend accepting that, and also just give her our thanks for many years of service.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the resignation of Carolyn Nix with many thanks for all those years.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the resignation of Carolyn Mix. Any discussion? All in favor, right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Mr. President, would also entertain a motion to extend administrative contracts 1 year.
Mr. President, I would move that we extend administrative contracts 1 year to Dr. Jim Kenworthy, Mike Bird, and David Wilson.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we extend the administrative contracts to the 2 building principals and the superintendent. Any discussion? All in favor, right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And I do believe
Future agenda items. Obviously, we will be coming back to look at the budget and decisions that we may or may not have to make in terms of personnel. There's a likelihood that we will have to have 2 meetings in April. Just in looking at some of the decisions we have to make, I think it's going to take more than one. So, does the board at this point feel like we don't need to discuss the extended school day option anymore at this point? Something we can come back to at a later date?
I agree to that, yeah. I think we can look at the budget and the money and see what we have, and then if we need to go back and revisit changing our school day, but I think we're okay the way it is.
I'll go ahead and proceed then with the calendar committee also with those minor adjustments that we talked about. We should have that to bring back to you in April as well.
If we need 2 meetings in April, anybody here, we need our first Monday and then
What's the other Monday you're looking at? 20th? Is that correct?
I'm not,
I think it's right.
we would probably
I think
pick that at the, that night, the
I'm
first one.
obligated on the 20th, so we could look at a different night other than that.
Okay, yeah, I would say, because our meeting's on the 6th, we can decide that night when we'd like to meet. Preferably not the 27th, just because one of the issues that we have as a possibility would be if we had to non-renew somebody or chose to non-renew somebody, we have to do that by May 1st, at least unless they change that now. So,
Or
No, it doesn't have to be. It can be any day, so, but, yeah, that's something we can do. All right,
Okay,
thank you, everyone.
entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.
Okay. Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, right hand.